When it comes to soap operas, villains have to do a lot to stand out, but for the central antagonist of General Hospital, Helena Cassadine, her sinister schemes blow her late husband Mikos is out of the water. Put simply, when you have more enemies than you do friends, that'd be saying something. I'm Bill Eckharts from Random Mind Studios, and for this video we will trace Helena Cassadine's footsteps from 1981 into the bowels of hell with the 25 worst offences she has ever committed, starting off at number 25. Carrying concealed weapons. For Helena, this be as automatic as breathing. She ne'er goes anywhere without a stiletto, dagger, gun, or biotoxin. The Cassadine matriarch is pure evil, but she nary be stupid. Number 24. Trespassing and skulking. The photo you just saw was Helena in the Port Charles jail, disguised as a cleaning lady. Even there be a secret entrance to a building or part of Port Charles, Helena traverses them like a shadow ghoul, most infamously on her grandson's estate at Windermere Castle on Spoon Island in the lagoon, where the tunnels are a labyrinthine maze. Number 23. Kidnapping Robin Scorpio. If you never seen General Hospital, Port Charles, Night Shift, or even The Young Marrieds, you may be thinking that kidnapping be a serious offence. Aye, it is. And why is it so low on the list? But the fact that her father, Robert Scorpio, was part of the reason Mikos was killed would make it even more sinister.
This from the woman who tried to freeze the world with a diamond-powered weather machine?
Not me. Mikos.
Tis every bit as evil as you think. Manipulating Robin with the help of her brother-in-law Victor Cassadine during the Jason Morgan conspiracy, tis only the tip of the iceberg that this Greek national be capable of. Keep joining me on the trip, it is a long one. Number 22. Giving Luke Spencer polonium poisoning. Again you may be thinking, this be the height of evil, Philippe. You be spot on. Unlike Robert Scorpio, Luke Spencer has been on the front lines against Helena for years, clashing lances on the Champ du Mars and doing a deadly tango. When she was killed in 2013, she left her darling Luke a farewell gift, courtesy of the Balkan. But as Alexis Davis has stated,
Well, they're wrong. Because a nuclear bomb couldn't take that woman out. She's too evil to die.
thanks to Robin's involuntary help of resurrecting her, the rivalry kept going for a few more years. But when she was on the cusp of death, she replaced one of Luke's earrings with a duplicate that had a polonium isotope in it, contaminating his system slowly and painfully. Now before we continue on with the countdown, we hereby ask you to like and subscribe to this video so that we can continue to give you new content. Go ahead, we'll give you a minute. That should be enough time. Now if you just sat there and are not already a subscriber to this channel, let shame pollute your britches. That's right, boyo and boyettes, I said it. Number 21. Aidin and Abedin, her thrice-dead son Stavros. There nary be a problem with a mother loving her child, but Helena's idea of love be the most twisted and sick kind there is, having bred Stavros into a maniacal, entitled, raven, evil monster with no limits. Her attachment to her firstborn sets off many alarm bells, but that's all aside. The times that Stavros was among the living, his crimes were more and more deranged and more unhinged. What can I say? Like mother, like son.
Ain't this a shame? You died twice. And both times, the last face you saw was
Number 20. Aidin and Abedin, Cesar Faison. Long-time soap fans will know who this man be. If you don't, there's always Google. Faison was a master spy for the evil DVX agency. Having gone so far as to kill his own mother, Sybil McTavish, by accident, Faison was a relic of the Cold War, black ops, wet work for the bad guys, and also known as a toxic strain of bacteria according to his longtime enemy Robert Scorpio. Faison has crossed as many lines as Helena, and has died and come back to life as many as well. Faison's death by Jason Morgan's hands has nearly given any relief to the citizens of Port Charles or the world at large. Number 19. Adultery with Victor Cassadine.
We also know that Helena had an affair with an unknown man.
That would be me.
Oh. Ooh, you and Helena?
No.
As revenge for the mistress Mikos had prior to his demise, Helena turned the tables and conceived a child with her brother-in-law and tried to pass it off as Mikos's, and that being rejected at birth made him the deadliest Cassadine of all, at least according to Helena. She claimed that Valentine wanted revenge against both the Spencers and the Cassadines. While Valentine in real life has proven that he has a soul, he was sent down a very dark path by his being purposely abandoned, including scoliosis and loneliness, which made him a sociopath. Number 18. Blackmailing Dr. Tony Jones. In a secret lab 30 floors below General Hospital, Dr. Jones was taken against his will by the pit viper from hell to unthaw her deceased son Stavros using deeply encrypted disks containing secret instructions. Being that closer to the gates of hell proved almost more than Dr. Jones could handle. The impetus for this will actually be explored further on this list. Number 17. Desecration of Bill Eckharts' grave. Gunned down in 1993 when Luke Spencer returned to Port Charles with his wife Laura, the dead ringer of Luke Spencer, who was also his cousin, was mistaken for the genuine article by Frank Smith's men and was gunned down in the catacombs while protecting his son Sly and Luke's son Lucky.
Go on. Very justice. The last face I see is my own.
However, in 2015, it was believed that Bill survived the attack, but this was a red herring for who the evil Luke, better known as Fluke, was. Luke and Helena had dug up Bill's body, dressed it up in an asylum jumpsuit, and Fluke projected Luke's psyche onto it, only for the corpse to be destroyed by a bomb. Although evil Luke had most of a hand in this, it is near unlikely that Madame Cassadine didn't laugh from the sidelines on this. Number 16. Tampering with Aidans' paternity test. If there be any humanoid monster that be unfit to ever even be near a child, Helena Cassadine would be the best example. Aidan, the biological son of Lucky Spencer, was made to look like his half-brother Nicholas Cassadine's son in order to further her own agenda. This would be the last time that you would see the brothers Lucky and Nicholas on screen at the same time. While a common soap trope, paternity tampering be a whole different breed of animal when it's done by the Dragon Lady. Number 15. Faken Lucky Spencer's death. We'll not dwell on this one too much. 'Tis as horrific as it looks. With Faison's help, Lucky was kidnapped by Helena before the fire in his apartment claimed his life. This left his family and Elizabeth Weber, his girlfriend, to mourn him for over a year as he was being programmed by Helena and Faison. Number 14. Kirsten the Spencers at their wedding. Out of sight of anyone there, the grieving widow of Mikos Cassadine used diamonds and her vengeful wrath to place a curse on the Spencer couple. It would take nearly 20 years to put into effect, but would prove to have worked. Luke and Laura had divorced in 2001, and their lives would nearly be the same. Number 13. Grand theft of the worst kind. Thanks to Stavros Cassadine keeping Lulu on ice on Cassadine Island in 2013, the latter could nearly have any viable children, apart from 2 of her embryos, one of which was implanted with Cassadine's sperm, which Stavros thought was his, right before he was gunned down for good. Helena would leave the Crichton Clark clinic with the embryo, which had been fertilized by a sample of Cassadine DNA, but from Valentine, thanks to one of Helena's henchmen, Daphne. The end result would be Charlotte Cassadine, the daughter of Lulu and Valentine, meant as Helena's final job at Luke Spencer by them both having to share her as an heir, and his prisoner wife Laura.
My father and my brother, and for that I'm truly grateful. Stavros and Mikos were monsters.
No, but... No!
Don't stop me! You killed my daughter!
Our daughter!
No, 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 no,
Number 12. Poisoning Lucas Jones. Remember Helena blackmailed Tony Jones? Well, reviving Stavros was because Lucas's cousin Lucky was programmed to poison him with a biotoxin she created, and had the antidote for. Causing physical ailment to a grown-up be fair game in war, but ye never take a stab at an innocent child, which is why Dr. Jones agreed to do this. Number 11. Using mind control on Lucky Spencer. In an act of symmetry, the same Ice Princess diamond Mikos used to freeze the world, Helena used it to gain control of Lucky, making him zoning in and out while mindlessly doing Helena's dirty work, which leads us to Project Endgame. Number 10. The year-long brainwashing and building of the secret lab, reviving Stavros, it was all leading to the total annihilation of the Spencers and all of Helena's other enemies. Before 9/11, this would have been done with biological warfare, but her revised plan was to have Lucky slay those he loved. If the plan had worked, Helena would be free to dominate the world, but thankfully, love proved stronger than hate. Number 9. The attempted murder of Emily Bowen Quartermaine. Most grandparents would be happy that their grandchild has found true love, but knowing Helena the way we do, her disdain for Nicholas's choices in women is unspeakable. Emily was a dear friend of Nicholas, Lucky, and Elizabeth, an adoptive Quartermaine who didn't have the talent of fighting as the rest of her family, and she aspired to be a doctor. Helena tried to make Emily bleed out by removing her tourniquet, tried to kill her in a hospital chapel, and tried to gun her down for the death of a man whom she thought was Nicholas but was actually Emily's rapist, Connor Bishop. Number 8. Trying to kill Alexis Davis. It is no secret that Helena hates anyone who crosses her. Alexis Davis fits a special category on Helena's list for the horrible crime of just being born. Alexis was born Natasha Mikosevich Cassadine as the result of an affair, and Helena had no qualms with reminding Alexis how much she hates her. Helena is kidnapped, taunted, and even tried to kill Alexis at every chance she had, whenever she didn't have a purpose for, as she calls it, the little mouse. Number 7. Using Lucky Spencer to poison his father. Part of Project Endgame was to torment Helena's enemies as much as possible, and right after Luke was shown that his mortal nemesis Stavros was back from the dead, Lucky was ordered to inject a toxin into his father's neck, which nearly cost Luke his life. Lucky fought his hardest to fight the program, showing that he didn't want to harm his father, but was nay strong enough to overcome it at that time. Number 6. Holding Jacob Spencer on Cassadine Island for 4 years. One of her most horrible schemes was to frame Luke for the killing of his own grandson through a drunk driving accident, and keeping him captive in Greece. Well, no harm came to the child, who was programmed, just like his adopted father Lucky, to carry out Helena's will. In this case, the Chimera virus. Number 5. Threatening Nicholas's other grandmother, Leslie Weber. In 1983, Nicholas was born to Stavros Cassadine and his prisoner's wife, Laura. When she learned that Luke was still alive, Helena helped Laura escape, but not out of any benevolent reason. She hated Laura. If she came back to see Nicholas, Helena would kill Laura's mother. When she tried to see her son again that same year, Helena arranged for Leslie Weber to die in a car accident. Thanks to Stefan and Project Timoria, Lucky and Luke were able to determine that Leslie was alive and in a comatose state. Helena's failure is a relief for all of us who like the good guys. Number 4. Involuntarily killing Chloe Morgan. Thanks to Stavros being revived, Stefan's girlfriend, a Quartermaine relative and best friend of Alexis Davis, Chloe Morgan, was murdered after she learned who Lucian Kane, one of Stavros' nom de plumes, was, and that he was the dead Cassadine prince. Being the monster he truly is, Chloe was savagely murdered. Number 3. Kidnapping twin brothers, Drew Kane and Jason Morgan. In a years-long storyline that started with César Faison shooting Jason Morgan and leaving him for dead in the Port Charles Harbor while posing as Duke Lavery, Jason was kept in cryogenic freezing on Cassadine Island and switched out with Navy SEAL Chief Andrew Kane, who was Jason's unknown twin, who was also kept in cryogenic stasis. Faison had wanted to use mind control on Jason, but the brain damage he sustained in 1995 that changed him forever was what made him immune. So Faison used Dr. Andre Maddox's procedure of brain mapping to make Drew believe that he was Jason and stored his real memories on a flash drive. Number 2. Murdering Alexis and Christina's mother, Kristen Bergman.
I tried to help her, but I couldn't.
That's a pretty heavy burden to put on a child.
Mikos' mistress was a beautiful, sweet, innocent, aspiring opera singer who Mikos took under his wing. His love for her was genuine, and despite the physical abuse because he was damaged and didn't know how to love anyone, Kristen brought out a different side of the tyrannical Cassadine prince. When Kristen gave birth to a second daughter, Helena had found Kristen and slashed her throat while Alexis hid her little sister in the stables. When Alexis came back after her mother was slain, Christina was gone, and her mind split. Helena's murdering Kristen was one of the worst things that she had ever done and taunted Alexis with. Helena went so far as to put Alexis in her will and gifted her with the dagger that she killed her mother with. Why is this not number 1 on the list? That is a good question. Were it not for this next entry, it would have been the very top of the obelisk. Number 1. Murdering her own daughter in front of the man she loved. In 2012, a beautiful blonde girl named Cassandra had appeared on Spoon Island and met and seduced Ethan Lovett, the illegitimate son of Helena's mortal enemy, Luke Spencer. When the charade was over, Helena revealed that this young woman was Irina Cassadine, her youngest child who was bred specifically to destroy the Spencers. When Luke was tied up by Helena with Ethan at Windermere Castle, Helena gave Irina a gun and made her kill Ethan. Not having any of this and despising Helena, Irina turned the gun on her mother and fired. However, they were only blanks. It was a test. Never having loved her daughter in the first place, Helena had no problem firing a real gun on the girl, killing her, devastating Ethan, whom Irina truly loved. Why is this number 1 on the list? Is because it was her own daughter.
You bitch! You
Grief
bitch!
is such a tedious emotion.
How could you? How could you be this sick?
If she could murder her, she could murder anyone. This is just a tiny notch in between Kristen's murder. An infinitesimal, insignificant notch, but it's still there. However, thanks to Nicholas Cassadine, Helena is back in hell where she belongs, and hopefully won't be back for real. Thank you for watching this supersized episode of Random Finds. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my friend Orion Patz's channel for Transformers trivia.
You sure about this?
We don't have an option.
All right. It's about time, Commissioner.